Hey, it works again. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Pitch. It is Jarrod here. And look at this. It's taken all season. Finally, El Capitan, the man who is playing his 200th game this weekend in an Adelaide United kit, Captain Eugene Galekovic. Huge, thank you so much for joining us on The Pitch.
Good to be here.
Where have you been, mate? Look, I'm just going to take you through this year. I've had Cameron Watson on twice, Jake Barkadash on a couple of times. I even got like Jacob Melling on here, and it's taken this long to get you here. Where have you been? I know you're a fan of the show.
No invite.
Oh, all right. Well, fair enough. We saved the best till last anyway, mate. Let's quickly talk about what happened the other night here at Cooper Stadium, because it was a very intense match, and a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, the fans. I mean, a huge amount, almost 14,000 to watch a game against Melbourne Heart, who haven't been that successful this year. Potentially the last home game of this season, but the support of the fans this year for you guys must be pretty comforting to walk away from a season, no matter what happens, going, we have pretty much the best fans in the A-League.
Yeah, no, that was sensational, especially Friday night. They came out, supported us against Melbourne, and in the end we got a point to make it to the finals, and hopefully for their sake we win this weekend and have another home final, or at least have a week off and have a home final in the second week. Yeah,
it's so bizarre what's going on, because I guess everybody was looking at results planning that if we won, we would have moved up to second. If we lost, we could have been out of finals contention. Nobody predicted a draw to go, well, depending on other results in this final round of the A-League, you guys are still in a little bit of limbo. All you need to do is win, and then other teams have to do the favours for you.
Yeah, exactly right. I think if you looked at it before the game, I think we wanted 3 points, but as the game panned out, I think in the end we're happy with 1 point, because we're 2-1 down obviously, and scoring in the last minute we got a point. So disappointing, like I said, but in the end we're in the finals, and we can snatch second spot on the weekend if we do win and things go in our way.
I want to talk about the never give in attitude you guys have, and this was pretty much displayed by yourself, who went up for the corners in the second half and then ran back over the halfway line and then came back again. But that's something that I only see when I'm playing FIFA in video games. But you guys working so hard, and we'll talk about AWA in a second, but to show that you wanted that so much. You can see the reaction in Josep when he attempted to do a knee slide, and it didn't really work. But how much you guys really want success this season because of that belief you have within the team. Can you just talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I think especially at half-time, when we went at half-time, you could see on the coach's face and also the players that we're not out of this game. We're at home, obviously man less, but we know we're good enough to get something from the game, and the game's got to be played for 90 minutes, and in the end we played for 90 minutes and ended up getting that goal we needed, and so it's fantastic, and made for a great end to the game.
At the start of the season, when we were going through a little bit of a rough patch, I heard you and I think it was Michael Zula or someone else on Talk About Radio, and you were really good with the callers, because they were calling up and they were going pretty hard. And it wasn't a great time, but your response on the air, as the captain and the leader was saying, just stick with us, we know what we're doing, just believe in us. And now, a few months later, can you turn around and go to those fans, hey, we told you to stay with us, and it was always going to take time?
Yeah, I remember doing a lot of interviews in the early stages, and my responses were always, we've got to stick by it, and our plan is what we're doing, and we're just not getting results at the time, and it's always going to turn. And I always said around Christmas, and with the belief of the group and the coaching staff, it has turned, and it's good that people have stuck by us, and results are shown now, and we're in the finals. And like I said, hopefully one more win gets us the second spot, and we have that week rest.
The captain and the manager have to have a really good relationship if you want to deliver his messages on the field for the whole 90 minutes as well. And you've been here at Adelaide United, for 200 games now. You've seen a couple of managers come through the club. Can you talk about, from your personal experience, what Josep has brought to you personally, but also the team as a whole?
I think just the style of football. I think everyone's enjoying our football now. Playing out from the back, and very attacking style. Boys are loving it. And his man management is great as well. He's very honest with every single player. You either like or you don't sometimes, but in the end he's honest, and you know where you stand with him. So that's a good thing. And I can't talk for all the boys, but I can nearly guarantee that everyone's loving it here and loving the football we're playing.
He seems to have some sort of cult following around the A-League though, because now, congratulations to Josep as well, he's going to be coaching the A-League All-Stars, but everybody's talking about him, and it's not just because of what happens during the game, it's also because of the relationship he has with you guys, where I guess there were probably instances last year where you were playing for each other, which is fantastic, but now you also look like that you're playing for the coach as much as the players.
No, exactly right. He's been great. Like I said, we all get along. There's sometimes, usually in the season, where you have a few players that don't really like the coach or not, but I can't say for this group. I think everyone knows where they stand, everyone likes him, and we play for each other. We fight for each other like you saw on the weekend, and it's great. And like you said, he deserves being your star coach. I think he's done marvellous things in this short time, and hopefully things just keep improving.
We will do a two-parter today, so we'll get to part 2 really soon, which is our questions from social media, because we love having you here. I wanted to do a 50-part episode, but our camera doesn't have enough memory card on it. I want to talk to you about a couple of players from your perspective as captain. First one is Bruce Jete. Now, last season, he probably had quite an inconsistent year from me personally watching from the sidelines as a fan, but seeing the hard work he's put in this year, he's remained injury-free for most of the season, and an example of last week against Melbourne Heart, when I spoke to him at the end, he was absolutely stuffed, but you can see that he actually works so hard, and I personally think he's had one of the best seasons I've seen at this club.
No, yeah, like you said, he's been great for us. I think not many people see the quality he brings. Everyone expects a striker to play and score goals for us, but I think you see with our wingers scoring a lot of the goals, but his job is to obviously put them through or make space for them, and credit to him. I think he's been sensational since he's come back from his injury at the start of the season. He's been strong. Wins aerial drills. He's and he does finish some goals as well. I think he scored 5 or 6 goals, which is good as well. But like I said, his role is to bring Marcello into play, Fabio Ferreira, Lidio into play, and that's what he's been doing.
Awal Mobile, who set up that goal last week. Last year, he probably would have had a shot with his left foot instead of crossing that, but I spoke to him on the couch a few weeks ago, and the discipline that he has now as a player, and also I guess maturity is a whole part of it as well, but it seems that he's embracing the fact he's getting time on the field, he's getting older, and he's loving being around those senior guys.
Yeah, I think he's getting better every training session, better every game, and I think next year could be a really big year for him. He's had opportunities this year, but it's more coming off the bench and trying to give us something for 20-30 minutes. But I think he's still young, so people forget about that. He's played this season and even a bit last year, so he's got a long way to go, but he's definitely got potential and can be a very good player. Just
finally, before we get to wrap this up and go to part 2, Osama Malik. Now, I'm sure he would never have thought that he would have been talked about as being in the A-League team of the year. He's had such a consistent season, but not only that, he's he's a different player than he was last year, and he seemed a little bit lost at stages last year, not as a player, but he didn't know where he was best fit. But now he's almost one of the first picked. Would you agree with that?
Exactly right. He's been tremendous this year. I think, like you said, last year he's thrown around at centre-back, right-back, holding midfielder, and it's a lot of positions to play, and now he's settled into his centre-back role, and he's been sensational, and no question he deserves to be mentioned in the the Socceroos, and hopefully he gets a sniff, because definitely deserves it.
All right, Eugene, you cool to hang around for another episode? We'll go to part 2?
No problem.
Awesome. Click on the mouse thing. We'll go to part 2. I'm hanging out with Eugene Galekovic. How awesome is this? It's the pitch.